everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say let.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene. Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the boys, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only, John Borba. John,
Yo.
what's happening, brother?
What's going on? Good morning, USA.
USA, that's what we're starting with. There we go, JB. Shout out to Bad Bunny and the halftime show. What a performance, and what a performance delivered by the football world, JB. Our football life is coming to an end here with the Super Bowl happening last night, and a champion was crowned, Borba. We got the Seattle Seahawks winning yet again in the W column, Super Bowl champions led by MVP Kenneth Walker. 29-13 win for these Seattle Seahawks yesterday, JB, led by their quarterback, Sam Darnold, who went 19 for 38 and a touchdown, and Kenneth Walker, who had 27 carries, JB. 27 carries for 135 yards, no touchdowns, yards per catch, 5, and his longest run was 30 yards. Yesterday's Super Bowl was amazing, JB. What did you I mean, when I say amazing, I mean it was a hard fought game. Both defenses seemed to have shown up. I think the one thing that we said, we screamed the loudest was I think we overlooked that offensive line for the New England Patriots. On the show on Thursday, I told you that the one thing that concerned me was the fact that Drake May, that offensive line, had given up 47 sacks in the regular season. Going into yesterday's game, it was at 15 sacks. I think it ended at around 21 sacks for the postseason, which is, I believe, was a record that was broken. What a disappointment from that offensive line. But on the Seattle Seahawks side, Sam Darnold going 19 for 38, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, and his completion percentage of 58%. But Kenneth Walker being the MVP. Buddy was slinging that thing, right? 38 pass attempts, so everybody got a little bit of a touch on the ball. Cooper Kupp, 6 for 12 for 61 yards. JSN, 4 for 10 for 27 yards. Slow game in the passing game, but overall, the boys absolutely got it done. What were your takeaways from yesterday's game, JB?
I think immediately about the second or third drive of the game, you knew what type of game it was going to be. You knew that New England was going to struggle to put up points, and that's exactly kind of what happened. At the end of the day, you can look at both of these teams, their path that they had to go through to get to this point. And, I mean, there's a lot of criticism on New England's side. It was never, you had frigid temperatures, you had bad weather games. They were just outplaying their opponent when it came to survival in those games. And when you square up, when it's 65 degrees outside, I mean, perfect weather conditions, my best versus your best, obviously they got hit in the mouth hard and there was really no response. So, I mean, Seattle was the best team up and down from every level of the game, and it showed pretty early. And it was really, I think there was a point in the game where where Seattle knew, okay, Drake May's not going to beat us. Like, we can take our points. We don't need to force nothing. We just control the game, keep having success in the run game. And, if Drake May wants to beat us, fine. But, we're going to take our 3. We don't need to force anything. Darnold just play a clean game. And that's exactly what happened. So I think they just played the game correctly. They understood that, hey, I think this is just New England shouldn't. I mean, they're ahead of schedule. They really shouldn't have been there, but they were there nonetheless. And you still have to respect your opponent. And I just think once Seattle kind of knew, okay, they knew the type of game it was. It was like, okay, let's just control it, keep playing our style, physical defense. They didn't really. The defense just it proved to us what it's proven to us the second half of the season. They carried their own, made everything so difficult. That offensive line Will Campbell. Oh my gosh, bro. You got to go into the offseason and hit the bench press or something, dude. You don't even look like a starting left tackle in the league. That was, I mean, dude was getting pushed left and right. There was no hope. There was no hope. That left side was getting collapsed every single time. I mean, Drake May had no
Yep.
chance. So that was one of the bigger disappointments. That's one of the losers. One of the takeaways. One of the biggest losers was Will Campbell in this game. It really put the spotlight on him on the offensive line perspective. So
And to
um,
add to that, JB, Will Campbell allowed a career high 14 pressures in the Super Bowl, 26.9 pressure rate, tied for the most by an offensive lineman in a playoff game since
that's crazy.
2018. This also marked the most pressures allowed by a Patriots offensive line in a regular season or postseason game since 2018. Across the entire postseason, Campbell allowed 29 pressures, the most pressures allowed in a postseason across the NGS era, and over half of his regular season total at 51. So, yeah, he did not have a great day at the office at all, or the last couple weeks from what I just read there. Will Campbell has not been showing up for work as of late, and that showed. I mean, damn, they gave up
That
six
showed.
yesterday. I know throughout that game, JB, the one thing that I can't we kept kind of pointing out was Josh McDaniels. It was like, man, this dude, like let it fly. But as you saw it kind of progress, you're just like, damn, he can't. Drake May has no time whatsoever. I think the most frustrating part for me for the New England Patriots side was it just felt like Drake May should have used his legs a lot more. I always look back to that Jalen Hurts Super Bowl, and I thought that was where they were the most effective is whenever he got on those wheels. I mean, we saw throughout the season, Drake May almost looked Michael Vick-esh, you could say. Uh, but yeah, we didn't see it yesterday. I was expecting for him to hit the over on rushing yards, and it didn't seem like that cashed in. I was a bit disappointed, but the dark side, that defense for the Seattle Seahawks, damn man, that's just a full team effort, huh? Witherspoon got a sack there. I believe he had what 3 pressures. He was cooking the heart of the defense, you could say. Uh, this is a Seattle Seahawks defense that is moves is one, sounds is one, and them boys were absolutely buzzing. I loved what I saw from Seattle, and what's scary about Seattle, it's like it feels like they could just run this back again next year. I know a lot of luck comes into a lot of this. I thought the Rams were the best team going into the playoffs, and obviously they got that big win. Matthew Stafford had a chance to win there at the end of their game, but couldn't seal the deal. But damn, man, Sam Darnold, where are we putting Sam Darnold after this game? I know it wasn't the most explosive game offensively. There in the post game interview, him and JSN just kept giving credit to the defense. But as far as Sam Darnold, I mean, he took care of the ball, no turnovers, which I think a lot of people were expecting that the Sam Darnold of old, the Sam Darnold that once saw ghost against this New England Patriots team. It seemed like they were expecting that guy to show up, and he never did. After yesterday's game, where are we ranking Sam Darnold as a quarterback as far as trusting him?
Man, after this whole season, the whole playoff run, everything like that, he's got to be in the top 10. We could be prisoner of the moment. We could say, oh, he's top 5, top 6, top 7, something like that. But I really do think he's clinched top 10 because you have other guys. You have Baker Mayfield in his draft class. You had Lamar Jackson. You have Josh Allen, and like none of them have been able to get it done. And for me, you put Sam Darnold back to back seasons, 14 wins, and then to top it off with this, the playoff run that he's had, he looked really good. He's never really looked bad. Obviously, last night, the stats just weren't overwhelmingly crazy, but he made really good throws still. I'm sure he'd like to have a couple back that one early with JSN that where JSN broke free that deep shot and where he
Oh
overshot it.
yeah,
That was a missed opportunity. But other than that, like he's been accurate, he's been decisive, he hasn't been taking sacks. Like for me, he's got to be top 10, and that's yeah. I think he solidified his
top
spot
10 Sam Darnold. Are we taking
easy,
Sam Darnold over
easy.
Justin Herbert? Maybe.
I mean, you can't argue against that. 100%, 100%, 100%. I think you could put, obviously you got the three in there. You got Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and then from there it's kind of shaky. I really don't
Over
know.
Jalen Hurts
Jalen Hurts. I mean, I
this
always
year.
thought he was fringe top 10, top 15. That's where I would put Hurts. I think Darnold from a quarterback perspective, like Darnold's better than Hurts when it comes to accuracy, throw power, um, just making throws that you need to make. I think Sam Darnold's there. I think he's better than that. Obviously, I think you got Stafford. Obviously, you put Stafford right there in the top four. And then from there, it's kind of just a toss up. You know, any
But
of those two can
as
do.
far as like clutch, like Sam, not Sam Darnold, but Matthew Stafford. Like I think we got to kind of question Matthew Stafford's clutch gene just a little bit. Like he's had the opportunity. It's like the Josh Allen thing. It's like, damn, how many times do you got to be put in a situation where you have the opportunity to close out a game and you don't? Like how many times do we got to make an excuse for these guys that have the opportunity to drive down the field and go score? You know what I mean? And it just goes to show that this happens to about everybody. So the narrative that gets spun on someone like a Dak Prescott or even or like what's about to spin on Drake May probably, like a lot of these guys just fold. It's everywhere.
Stafford's done it before. Stafford's been there, done
Huh?
that. Every
Yeah,
quarterback
but
falls
also had
short.
a top 3 defense when Aaron Donald was there. I think ultimately what I'm getting out of this Super Bowl, although like Cheech said, it felt like it was a close game going into halftime 9-0. It felt like New England was still somewhat in it with them taking field goals. At one point during that game, JB, we both looked at each other like, "Yo, is a kicker about to win the MVP for the first time?" And then we realized, like, no, we got to understand that these field goals are being kicked because Kenneth Walker is driving these boys down the field. But the main takeaway that I got from this is like, ultimately, at the end of the day, defense wins championships, right? And the way that it's going to be interesting to see how teams start to, uh, like create their rosters because it's going to be hard to, like, I think like one thing we've known, right, is like when the quarterback is taking the majority of the salary cap, it's it's hard to get other talent around them, so you almost expect them to do more with less, right? And then when they're not that caliber of quarterback, and the NFL is really good about exposing that. So I'm interested to see like how many quarterbacks maybe restructure. I know people aren't gonna. I know they're not gonna leave no meat on the bone, right? Like they're gonna cash in. They're gonna get as much money as possible. But I wonder at what point, like, do we look at these quarterbacks and they don't just offer them the next highest paid contract? You know what I mean? Like, who's next? Who's up next? Because Dak was the highest paid, right, at 60 million. So Patrick Mahomes is probably going to re up here pretty soon. Joe Burrow, I'm sure, is going to re up here pretty soon. But like, what young quarterback is next? Because Justin Herbert's already paid, right? Like,
I think so.
like,
Is
do
he?
you think they're just going to continue to keep breaking the market?
Yeah, that's the way that's going to go. And you can build your team a couple different ways. I mean, you can go if you have one of the elite quarterbacks, you got to pay the guy, right? But then if you got somebody, I mean, perfect scenarios a Sam Darnold, super team friendly deal.
Caleb
Um,
Williams.
you have super team friendly deal, like I said, and then you have so much room to build around him with whatever you want. I mean, and if you so you can build your team, like I said, you can go the Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen route. You know, pay these elite quarterbacks, right? You have to pay the elite quarterbacks, but for these other guys that are still, like I said, Sam Darnold, what you can do in that system, it just worked out perfectly because Mike McDonald, defensive guy. We've seen what he's done on his resume. For what he's done these past couple years, just being a head coach. Last year, they had 10 wins. This year, you go to the Super Bowl, you win it all. And then from there, before that, he had success. Like when you bring in a great defensive mind and then a quarterback who can control the game and not necessarily lose a game for you, it's a really good combo because we see at the end of the day, defense wins championships. I mean, you're just following that same route. All you got to do is have these pieces on offense. You still got guys on offense. I mean, JSN, Cooper Cup, Kenneth Walker. You still got guys on offense that are going to make plays, But the defense is ultimately what led this team to a win. You know what I mean? And they controlled that
Yeah.
entire game. They're the ones that set the tempo for the offense. Like We don't got to do nothing crazy. We don't got to play out of our minds, out of our body, and just like big plays, put people in bad situation, put Darnold in a situation where he's got to throw it a million times. Like everything was controlled, and it was because of that defense. That defense controlled the team. They controlled the whole flow of the game. That's what it was. And credit
Yeah.
to Patriots defense. I mean, Patriots defense, it was good enough for them to win. The offense was just not even existent. And you saw, kind of talking about the Patriots now, like you saw, I think it finally caught up to Drake May that, okay, this guy's a second-year quarterback, and we're seeing that. Like that was a perfect example of what kind of transpired. But yeah, if you got these quarterback friendly deals, you can build your team around them, and if you have the right coaching staff, the right guys that know how to run a good defense, then you can get the players that you want. There's no all stars on that defense, right? There's no all pros. There's no guys where it's like, oh, if I don't have this dude, like we're gonna lose. Like that's just a well rounded defense from top to bottom, defensive line to secondary, and they showed it. You know what I mean? And that's just
Yeah.
all dudes that are physical, that play the game tough, that are fast, elite when it comes to the way that they move. You know what I mean? And just the way that they play, and the way that they understand the defense too. You run it so good. I mean, it's like second nature. You run full speed. You're full speed when you understand the defense, and that's what they
Yeah.
did. There was no hesitation. There's no lack of awareness. Everybody was on the same page on defense, and that's what won it.
For sure. Just to piggyback off the Drake May comment that you said about him, just it came back. It seems like it caught up of him just being a second year quarterback. I mean, to me, it ultimately like that offensive line struggled really bad, and I think we just kind of let that just kind of go over our head because of the heroics that we had seen from Drake May and that offense throughout the season. I mean, him being in the MVP conversation, especially with that offensive line giving up so many sacks. I was telling you during the game, like this team kind of reminds me a little bit of that Bengals team that went to the Super Bowl as well. I mean, during that season, I believe that Bengals offensive line led the league in sacks given up, and now I wonder like what the future is going to look like for this Patriots team if they don't hit at the offensive line. Like, are we going to end up looking at Drake May, kind of how we look at Joe Burrow, or like an Andrew Luck, a guy that just continues to get smack, 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 smack? Like, are we going to be looking at this New England Patriots team here in like a year or two and be looking at them the same way that we're looking at the Bengals? Like, damn, you have to get people here on the offensive line position because going into this game, like we were like, damn, Drake May really doesn't have any weapons outside of Stephon Diggs, which that's on Josh McDaniels yesterday. Like, how the hell did Stephon Diggs not get more touches? What did he end up with? I think 2 to 3 touches on that
3.
game, JB. We were screaming, where the hell is Diggs? At one point, we're like, man, Drake May's not even looking in Diggs' direction to the point to where the camera wasn't even panned on Diggs at all during his routes. That's how non-existent Diggs was yesterday. I put that on Josh McDaniels. I was incredibly disappointed the way that Josh McDaniels called that game. Now, could that have been because of the offensive line? We'd have to go back and we're gonna have to go back and watch the game on that to really lock down and look. But damn, man, that was a tough look. I didn't like how Stephon Diggs wasn't incorporated into the game plan, or at least it felt like he
Yeah.
wasn't. It was non-existent, and I think you have to get him going. But now the question is like, do they focus on trying to go get offensive line talent, or are they going to go spend money to go find Drake May some weapons? And we've seen whenever a team goes out and goes and gets weapons and ignores the offensive line, hence the Bengals that we're talking about with Joe Burrow. And what do you think the future looks like for the New England Patriots?
I think it's one of those game like this was an opportunity for somebody in the AFC to take advantage of the playoff pool, and for this year it was the Patriots ultimately. Um, I don't think they're
Weather
going to
played
be
its
back,
part too, right?
huh?
I said the weather played its part too.
That's
Like getting them
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
that
Like
hit a lot of the issues, right? Like
they
because
outplayed.
ultimately Drake May had a shite postseason
Yeah.
against the best defenses in the league, but because of the weather, they were able to manage. So we gave a lot of credit to the coaching staff. But yeah, sorry, JB, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah. It's you see the playoff pool, and what is a playoff picture without Burrow, without Mahomes, and without Lamar Jackson, and the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl, right? I really just don't think another team's going to have that opportunity again. A team like the Patriots for this could. I mean, we've heard it all. We've heard it a bunch of times already. Dan Marino made it a second year, never made it back, and I don't know, for at least for the upcoming couple seasons, I just don't see the Patriots being like a real contender. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too soon. Maybe I'm prisoner of the moment. I just don't feel like they don't have a very high chance of making it back to the Super Bowl yet. I think we got to see more development out of Drake May. And I remind you, like, this is throughout the whole season. Like, let me read something. Let me show you guys something about this season, the season games that they had. They went 14-3. Let me show you something about their opponents. Raiders, they lost that game, right? Coach is fired. Dolphins, next game, they win that game. Coach is fired. Steelers, Mike Tomlin resigns. NFC South, the Panthers, okay, joke of a division. The Bills, okay, you played the Bills. That's one solid opponent. You beat the Saints by 6. Titans, they just fired head coach, right? Falcons, fired head coach. Buccaneers, Todd Bowles is on the hot seat for sure. All ultimate meltdown by the Buccaneers. NFC South, trash. Bengals, no Joe Burrow. They win by 6. Giants, coach fired. Bills again. Ravens, coach fired. Jets, suck. Dolphins, coach fired. Chargers, in the playoffs. That's okay. Then we're getting in the playoffs and stuff. But that whole regular season schedule was one of the worst of all time. One of the worst of all time. And you lost to the
They played
Ravens.
they played who was put in front of them, JB.
It don't matter. That's one of the worst, most easiest routes to the playoff I've ever seen in my life. Hands
You're
down.
just
It's got to
saying
be one of the
you're
worst
just saying
schedules
the
I've ever
likelihood
seen.
of us, and you're just saying the likelihood of us seeing that again is slim to none. That's your statement there, right?
At least I don't think the Patriots going to have a first place schedule next year. Patriots are going to be playing, I just don't see them making it back next year. I can maybe see them possibly making the playoffs, um, you know, but I don't think they're going to have the
Hey, but
season.
also Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Let's Josh Allen. Hey, let's freaking do better. Let's not have this situation again. Like, show up, ball out. Come on.
Yeah.
Josh Allen having the opportunity. This should have been Josh Allen's moment.
Should
Josh
have been
Allen having
Josh
the ball in his
Allen.
hands to go be able to go down the field and
I
get a win.
mean,
And
it,
folds like a cheap tent, JB. Come on. This is crazy. This is if anybody
yeah.
if anybody was disappointed by what we saw in the Super Bowl yesterday. You go look at those AFC quarterbacks. You look at Josh Allen. You look at Joe Burrow. You look at Patrick Mahomes, and you say, "Yo, y'all got to do better." This is because of y'all. The NFC did its part. The NFC did its thing. Come on, man. Come on.
And on top of that, I mean, I'm still disappointed in the Texans. I'm still disappointed in the Texans because they actually,
Oh, CJ, yeah,
you,
come on. That should
you
have been
talk
the team
about
here.
that would have been a different game. I mean, if the Texans made it, that
Would
would have
it?
been a
Would
different
it?
game.
Maybe.
Even if the
Maybe
Broncos
CJ
made it,
has.
that would have been a different game for sure.
I think
With
so.
with a healthy Bo Nix in the Super Bowl, I think that would have been a different game. We're looking at a way tighter game than what happened for sure. But
Coulda,
it is what it
shoulda.
is.
Patriots fans right now are just swinging at Eric because of what you're saying. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, JB. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is what the Seattle Seahawks will be facing this offseason, JB. These are key unrestricted free agents this offseason. Looks like the DB position, a couple guys are going to get paid. The main one that we see there is MVP. Running back Kenneth Walker. Do they bring him back? Raheem Shaheed traded for him on a 1-year deal. Does he get extended? Also, where was he yesterday offensively? But those boys on the Patriots defensive side of the ball, Christian Gonzalez, man, what a dog! At one point, we were thinking like, damn, if this team comes back, Christian Gonzalez should win MVP because he was balling, man. Had a great game. Shout out to him for showing out. But JB, what outside from the Patriots side? Let's go over to the Seahawks side. What was your biggest takeaway from them and what they have to look forward to. And then here in just a second, we will discuss Clint Kubiak making a breaking news announcement yesterday in the postgame show.
I mean, just to based off what I said earlier, I think this team is. I would go into next season with Seahawks as the favorites. I think Rams are maybe 2 players away. You get a corner, and maybe you get, I don't know, something else. Like they just need a piece or two. They're right there. The Rams, I think they're still going to be. Those are going to be the cream of the crop in the NFC. Seahawks and Rams. I think the Seahawks are go into the offseason as a favorite, bring back a lot of these guys, pay who needs to be paid. They got a lot of money to spend still. So I like the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks early. I mean, they're going to be the early favorites next year. So do they go back to back? I don't know. But they got a complete team. About to sneeze. My bad.
Ooh, let it rip.
They got a complete team. Excuse me. But yeah, they got a complete team. And I think they can make a run again. I don't know how far they get or if they make back-to-back appearances, but they got a really good chance. So they're the early favorites in my book.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, Seahawks 17 playoff wins since 2002, tied for most in the NFC alongside the Eagles. Every time I see stats like that, it just kind of, it's like a piercing shot to my heart being a Dallas Cowboys fan. It's just like, damn, man, I just want to have a look. Like, come on, I want to be able to see the commercial after the game that says, your team has just won the Super Bowl. Come and order this overly priced T-shirt, hat, and towel. That's what come on, please, football gods, help us out. But this is Clint Kubiak making breaking news shortly after winning the Super Bowl. Let's see what he had to say, JB.
What does the future look like as a head coach in this league for you? Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's up to God, and we're gonna enjoy tonight. Yeah.
So no answers on the network.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, you guys know I'm going to Las Vegas, so I'm fired up about it. But tonight, one more for one more night. Hell yeah, I'm going. Of course I'm going. Yeah.
Just confirmed it right here. What does the future look like as a head coach in
Yo,
this league for you?
if you
Because
didn't
it's
know
gonna
what
happen.
Clint Kubiak looked like, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I don't know what a Raiders head coach should look like. Obviously, Pete Carroll was the last one, but Fernando Mendoza and Clint Kubiak weren't my first options as what the face of the Las Vegas Raiders would look like. But damn, man, him answering this question, just breaking his own news and say, hell yeah, of course I'm going to take that job. If I'm a Raiders fan, after watching this interview last night, I don't know that I would have been able to go to sleep. I feel like all of a sudden we're going to make noise in the AFC like the Patriots got here. Why can't the Raiders turn around and turn around right away? Does Max Crosby even leave because of, like, to me, this screamed Max Crosby staying. This is the type of mentality that Max Crosby would want. And all the news that's circulating about Max Crosby being on the trading block, he did come out and say he's not even going to acknowledge it because it's a double-edged sword. If he does, they're going to spin his story. If he doesn't, they're going to spin his story. So he might as well just stay out of it completely and allow people to come up with their own narratives. Now we'll see if that's going to be, if that's true going down the line this offseason, this interesting offseason. But damn, man, what did you think about Kubiak heading to the Raiders?
I think it's going to be a good fit. I mean, you bring in an offensive-minded guy. You're going to draft Fernando Mendoza first overall. It's not going to be a quick turnaround, though. It's not going to be a quick turnaround. You're arguably going to
They got a young
hardest.
offensive line.
Huh?
They got a young offensive line, and that was kind of one thing that kind of struggled last year for them. They got Brock Bowers. They got I was going to say Josh Jacobs, but Ashton Genty. That's not a bad start.
No, but
Especially Fernando coming from that type of offense.
Yeah, but it's not. You'll be happy to maybe get 5 wins next year, to be completely honest. You're going into the hardest division in football. AFC's, I mean, when it comes to the AFC West, you got to go through Herbert, Chargers. That's a good regular season team. Of course, Denver, and then of course
just got Mike
Patrick
McDaniels,
Mahomes.
huh?
He's got to get healthy, and
Got Eric Bieniemy back.
yeah. I think it's gonna be a tough turnaround. You'll be lucky to win 5 games. I'll say that. Maybe 6. You call that a successful season, 100%. If Raiders can win 5 or 6 games, so they got a long way to go.
I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the over on that. I think I would like.
There's
I think
no
I'm gonna
shot.
like them at 7-8.
There's no
7-8.
shot. There is zero.
No,
There is
I'm too excited about
potential.
Fernando.
There is 0% chance Fernando Mendoza is going to come into that team organization and lead them more to 6 wins. I'll say that right now. They will be happy
Do
to
you
get
think we're
6
getting
wins tops.
Do you think we're getting a little overly excited about Kubiak, considering that team was led by a defense led by Mike
Yes.
McDonald, who is the
Yes.
defensive coordinator, also making the play calls for that defense? Do you think maybe we're doing a bit of an overreaction to
I'm not
the
doing an
Kubiak hire?
overreaction. I'm not doing an
Myself,
overreaction. You are.
when I say
You are. You're the one that's hyped. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
my bad.
man. Max Crosby, he's not going nowhere. I'm like, dude, it's Clint Kubiak. Like, he was never like, I don't know. He wasn't that great of an offensive
It's
coordinator in
the
Minnesota.
Mike Shanahan tree. Him and Sam Darnold were in San Francisco before they went over to Seattle, and I mean, outside of today, like you got to think about Sam Darnold during the playoffs. You could make the argument he's the reason they got here.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
he was cooking. So the offense it played its part throughout the postseason. Then defense just kind of shut it down here in the Super Bowl. So I think Raider fans should be excited. Now, to me, the next move is who's he bringing with him? Who is going to be the defensive coordinator? That's the biggest question. So I guess I do need to take a step back. I'm just saying that from an excitement level, I'm pretty juiced up that this is going to be our head coach if I'm a Raiders fan. But my next question immediately is who's he going to bring in with him to call the defense? And yesterday, immediately you mentioned Jim Schwartz, who said he's going to be stepping down for a year, who just put in his resignation the other day with the Cleveland Browns, who was upset because he didn't necessarily get the head coaching job. Uh, will they be able to snag him? They would probably have to trade for him, right, JB? But if I'm assuming he's the front runner, but if it's not him, I mean, who? I feel like you have to absolutely go make a move for Jim Schwartz.
it, it's going to be hard. I don't know because he's still under contract. So I don't know what you got to go through to get that pulled off. But I don't
Just
think,
get a
Jim
seventh.
Schwartz he's upset that he's not a head coach, and he's upset that Todd Monken pretty much,
He's upset he's not
just
head
took his
coach for
spot.
the Browns.
You know, I don't know. For me, it's going to be hard to get Jim Schwartz. You gotta bring someone else in. I think at the end of the day, there's gonna have to be somebody else. Clint
Some
Kubiak's
young
gonna
buck.
hire, I think, the best name out there because he literally just experienced the formula to winning. Solid offensive play calling, and then you're led by your defense. You got to build up the defense. You got to find somebody who knows what they're doing as a scheme. Um, a guy that's going to make the defense better, make some of these guys perform better than they usually do. You just want to make the whole unit, the whole defensive unit look better. Same thing what happened in Seattle. You don't have no all pro, no first team all pros, nothing like that. You just have a good defense that knows how to play the scheme, and they're gonna out physical you. They're gonna be more physical than you. They're gonna be faster than you. They're gonna be stronger than you. They're gonna take over the game. You need somebody who's gonna put it together a defense like that. I just don't know. I don't know who's gonna be. I think it's going to take a minute for them to find the right guy. I don't think it's going to be instantly. They just bring in the D
Yeah,
coordinator
yeah,
the
yeah.
next day. It's going to be a little bit of a process. So you got to find the right
That's
guy
what
for
sucks.
sure.
That's what sucks about being late to the party. I mean, ultimately, you get a Super Bowl out of it, so it's a. I take that give and go, but man, yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they played out. But it's gonna be a process, like you said. I expect at least 8 wins. I think that's a good season for you.
That's crazy.
You're saying
Where are
five
you
or
going to get
six.
7 or 8 wins?
I just think if you get 7 to 8, you can get ahead of schedule. I think maybe we're overhyping. I think your expectations for the Chiefs. I think the Chargers will come out and do their thing, but I wonder. I mean, bro, we've seen where teams look great one year and then the next year they just completely fall apart. Like maybe the Denver Broncos do take a step back. Like Bo Nix is going to come off a leg injury that at one point, whenever I think of the Cowboys, at
Broken
one point
ankle.
Dak used to use his legs all the time. Dak used to use his legs all the time, and now we're so damn scared to call a draw play for him. Like,
Bo
what if
Nix
that
is
starts
not
to
Dak.
happen to the Denver Broncos?
Bo Nix is not
Dak is
Dak.
better. Relax, relax, relax.
Bo Nix is a million times more athletic than Dak. You can't use that.
Yeah, but
You
is
can't
that
use
going to
that.
slow down though? That's a
No,
legitimate
not with
question.
an
Is that
ankle.
going to slow down? A leg injury though, that's massive. He
It's an
broke
ankle.
it.
It's an ankle.
Broke it.
That's
And
fine.
according to Sean Payton, this has been a continuous issue. This is something that goes all the way back to high school.
Well,
Drake. I mean, Bo
first of
Nix
all,
was excited about that.
Sean Payton does not know how many surgeries Bo Nix has had, quite frankly, and that's where the whole argument happened. The week after they lose, Sean Payton called out Bo Nix for no reason. Bo Nix clapped back and said, "Hey, first of all, Sean Payton doesn't know how many surgeries I've had. He doesn't know how many issues I've had. So no, you can't say that. And at the end of the day, it's just an ankle, though.
You believe that though? You believe that?
100%.
You don't think Sean Payton knew when they were
I think
when they
so.
were during the draft process? You don't think that kind of stuff came up?
I think so. Because I think it's hard to get those records. I don't know.
Yeah, you think millions of dollars just being thrown into an asset like that? You don't think that kind of research was made? You don't
I
think
don't
those
think Bo
kind of
Nix
records
would.
are?
There was no scheduled interview for no presser for Bo Nix. He literally made one the next day to clear up all that crap. And Sean Payton was throwing a fit after they lost. Like, got rid of the offensive coordinator, all that stuff. Like, he was just, I don't know. I've never liked Sean Payton. That's just me, though. And you can
Yeah,
see he always thinks he's the smartest. And when you always think you're the smartest guy in the room and you throw little tantrums and things like that, things happen. But yeah, like Bo Nix, there was no scheduled presser. He scheduled one the next day to clear up what Sean Payton was saying. So, and you don't hear that out of Bo Nix. So obviously he had
Oh, yeah.
something to say. So I don't believe. I
For sure.
believe. I'll take Bo Nix on that argument.
You'll take Bo Nix's truth. I got you.
Yeah. I
Well,
will.
JB, joining us to discuss a little more about the Super Bowl will be All Sports Best host, the one, the only, the GOAT from Carlsbad, as they say, Mr. Trey Gonzalez. Trey, what's happening, brother?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah.
Yep, sound beautiful. Hey Trey,
Awesome.
what was your Super Bowl? What did your Super Bowl day look like yesterday? Are you a massive party guy, or are we kind of laid back with like 2 or 3 friends, or are you just locked in by yourself in front of the TV?
All of the above, but last night it was a bunch of buddies that got together, family, friends. It was a seafood boil, which I've never done before for Super Bowl. It's usually finger foods, meatballs, queso. I mean, all the works. You know, it's all about it's food first, I think, and then it's Super Bowl. But yeah, it was a good party.
Okay. So that tells me you got to be like a Cowboys fan or something along the lines like that. Is that what that to say food first? That means your team probably hasn't been in that situation very often.
I'm a Steelers fan, actually. So a lot of people around me, they're all different fan bases. We had Broncos, we had Cowboys, Steelers. I don't think anybody was a Seahawks or a Patriots fan there, so it was kind of just an open environment, just trying to enjoy a good game, which is what we were hoping for. But yeah.
And the Steelers fan, to piggyback off that, how do you feel about their hire with Mike McCarthy?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't say lateral move, but after years of being good enough to get to the playoffs, but not good enough to really do anything, no real high expectations, just excited to see maybe a slight change in that role. So yeah.
Did the press conference get you?
Get me what? Emotional?
Yeah. It made you lock in.
I mean,
we have a buddy that's a Steelers fan, and he saw the press conference and was like, "Oh, yes, I love it."
Because he's always been wanting. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool story for sure. I just I don't know. I think something brand new, something fresh would be nice, but I'm all for new beginnings.
You're looking for a young buck, right?
Kinda.
What we're hoping for.
That'd be. I mean, yeah.
If we're gonna start fresh, if we're gonna blow it up, let's at least start young.
Exactly.
But to defend Big Mike, I mean, he's supposed to be this offensive guru, right? He's supposedly developed quarterbacks. I mean, Dak Prescott had his best year with Mike McCarthy at the helm. So, yeah, good luck to you guys. It should be a fun season. I mean, at best, at least you get into the dance. I mean, there's some of us like me and Borba here to my left who just wish that our team at least had an opportunity to get into the dance and make some noise. But what was your biggest takeaway from that Seattle Seahawks win over the New England Patriots?
I think we talked about, I mean, all throughout the, I guess, playoffs, the strength of schedule for the Patriots. That's kind of the thing that kept coming up. And And I think it, as if you want to believe in it or if you don't want to believe in it, that game kind of almost proved the people that were believing in that right. Like, they might not have had to prove themselves too much to get to that Super Bowl. But at the same time, I mean, it was interesting to see that most unlikely Super Bowl ever in terms of odds from the year before, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so I overall, I think I was not very impressed with the game, but the Seahawks winning it, pretty cool. I think second ever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
At one point, had me questioning the Legion of Boom. I was like, man, is this defense better than Legion of Boom? JB kind of brought some reality to my life, and I was like, all right, I got to calm down a little bit. That Legion of Boom was a different story. But JB, yesterday you were 3 for 3 on our picks for the coin flip, the Gatorade, and then the over under. Heads, you said Gatorade yellow, and then you bet the under on the show on Thursday. Trey, where were you? Where were you and your guys on your show? Where were y'all as far as the coin toss and the Gatorade color?
Well, so I do this different thing. It's a question sheet. I'll send it to you guys next year for sure. I put up 15 questions on a Google form, and it's like who wins the coin toss. I got everything wrong this year, like completely wrong. There's no way you can really know. So for John to do that, that's pretty goated. But I would say, yeah, we did. Does somebody get liquid dumped on them? So it's a little more for sure going to happen. There was a few other things. What color is Bad Bunny going to wear at the halftime show when he comes out? Those types of things. And so it kind of keeps everybody engaged, even the people that aren't really into it. But yeah, as far as predictions, completely off. Not a good day for me.
What Gatorade color did you go with?
I think I went with, what did we go with? Blue. So yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
I went with purple.
Oh, has that
Purple had
happened
never
before?
been done, bro. So
Okay.
no, it had never been done. So I was kind of thinking, I don't know. Honestly, I was just kind of hoping for something different, but that was cool. I've seen confetti. I know in college they do a little bit of confetti whenever they win like a bowl game or something. So I could see where that one, whether or not they get wet, that's actually a pretty interesting one. But dang, hell yeah! Hey, about on your show, I noticed you guys interview a lot of high school kids. How'd you guys get into that?
So I actually started All Sports Best. The backstory, quick backstory.
Take us down the timeline.
Okay, I'll start it off. So I went when I played high school here in Carlsbad, born and raised. I ended up going and playing college baseball at New Mexico State. And at that time, nobody was really, I mean, you'd get into the newspaper, that was exciting. But there wasn't a lot of people that were like specifically focusing on people being, doing good things. And so when I got out of college, I was, started a little Instagram page with All Sports Best, tried to highlight some stuff, motivational stuff. And then I realized that, I want to follow sports more, give kids spotlight. And that's kind of what we've been doing that in Carlsbad, trying to branch out more. Artesia now, we've got a few athletes from Artesia that have been on it, coaches that are going to come on as well, and trying to spread throughout the state also. So we've had a lot of coaches and athletes from around the state, pros, college players as well. So we're just trying to expand on that in New Mexico excellence. So that's kind of the then to now.
Your latest interview on YouTube is Mason Posa, freshman All-American at Nebraska. How was that interview for you?
That was a blast. Super cool guy, super down to earth, easy to root for. And he might be, this is a big thing, but he might be like the next Brian Urlacher out of New Mexico. I mean, he is that solid of a dude. As a freshman, a cool fun fact, he sacked Fernando Mendoza. That's a big thing. Got starts against major teams. It wasn't just, you're not playing mid-major stuff, which is still great. But, at Wisconsin, he was dealing with some big dogs, and he stepped up to the challenge. Pretty cool.
Dang, that's cool, man. Mason Posa from Nebraska. If you guys don't know, go check him out. But to stay on the high school thing, like, has it been easy to follow the high school sports because how much success you guys have had in Carlsbad and Artesia? It seems like they're always kind of top tier as far as competing for a championship game. For us, we haven't necessarily dug into the high school world. JB's kind of mentioned it for us to try to dig into that world. But it's like, how do you navigate the whole thing of success and then not having any? If you've even dealt with that at all.
Yeah, we definitely do. You know, it fluctuates from program to program. Baseball, softball, always very relevant. Basketball, up and down. This year, a really good year for boys, and the girls trying to, kind of catch their stride. Last year, they had a great year. So it's really just depends on the sport. But the way that I approach each one is I want these kids more than anything to be able to look back at it in 5, 10 years and be like, that was cool. I did that. Not, hey, we had a bad year and they emphasized it. You know what I mean? Or we had a great year and they just want to talk to me because our team was doing good. And they, it's kind of a cool thing to look back and say, hey, I had a good, impact at my school and I got a chance to be on a podcast and have something that's special to me and my family.
So it's all positive vibes.
All positive vibes as much as possible. Well, I do definitely get into some controversy and just ask questions, but never try and, bring anything up that's going to be negative, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you had any pushback from like parents or anything?
100%. No, not from
From a negative
athletes.
standpoint?
Not from athletes being asked to be on. When I ask, it typically is pretty okay with them. It just depends on schedule. But I've definitely had some feedback after the fact. Maybe a student said something about their team or that they're the best or something like that, and other teams kind of get wind of it and it's bulletin board material. Those types of things. But I like that because that's what makes things exciting, right? That puts fans in the seats more. They're like, these two teams don't like each other. I'm gonna go see if anything happens. And yeah, so we got that against.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it real, right? That's also what makes it real. Like we don't want you don't always want to hear the cookie cutter answers, because I mean we've all been around athletes. We've been athletes ourselves, and it's like sometimes you kind of have to light a fire under yourself to allow yourself to get to that next level. So that's cool. What's one guy that we should, or one girl or guy that we should be looking forward to on this next season? What's next? We got track and baseball. That's your world, right?
Yes, track, baseball, softball. What is it? Yeah, I think that's about it right there. I hope I'm not missing anything for their sake. But in terms of baseball, there's a few athletes right now that are going to look to make an impact. I think one in specific, his name's Wade Cozart. He was a freshman making an impact on this team, on the Caveman team. And I think he's a sophomore this year, maybe a junior. I can't remember, but I know he was an impact player as a freshman. So he'll be a stud, definitely. As far as track goes, I think it's a lot of the football guys that had success this last year. One of those guys being the 4-star recruit. I think he's like the top dog in New Mexico, Colton McKibben. Big guy, strong, and, motivated to be the best. So pretty cool to see some of these athletes.
Do you cover anything for New Mexico State?
I have been able to do some baseball broadcasts with Adam Young, when they play the Lobos and a few other games last year. I think I did about 5 to 7 games last year, and it's a really cool time.
Play-by-play?
Play-by-play on ESPN.
Yeah. Nice. Let's go, Trey.
It's pretty cool.
Come on. Yeah, that's exciting, man. Have you been able to interview any of their athletes yet?
I have in the past trying to work on that this year. Actually, one of the big players at New Mexico State, if you get a chance to watch softball, Faith Aragon, she's from Carlsbad as well. She's going to be probably a top 3, if not more, player for that team this year. I think she has 2 home runs already in their opening weekend. So, and she's a pitcher and a hitter. So, huge impact player there.
NIL money, what's that look like at New Mexico State?
I think it's developing. We'll say that. I think last year, from what I heard, because I can't get a ton of information all the time, but what I heard last year, there was one girl, I think, on NIL money guaranteed. Everything else was, merchandise that you have to kind of push yourself as an athlete. But she moved to Texas Tech, so I don't know what the distributions look like there. I think baseball gets more money. Basketball and football get by far the most.
Yeah. Do you know what that football program is looking like heading into this next year?
I do not. We're
not in the weeds there yet.
No, not quite yet. I need to get some information on that. This last year wasn't their best by far. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to look back. You see that Diego Pavia, those 2 years that he had control at the QB position, and I think he had 6 wins. He didn't play a full season, still had 6 wins, and then the following season, if I'm not mistaken, 10 wins in a bowl game. So I don't know that we'll see that now in this NIL era. I mean, it'd be great, but we got to get some, big backing to be able to do that.
What's the energy like towards Diego Pavia from New Mexico State fans or students?
I think it's all love. I really do. We broke it down on the podcast. We had a legitimate Diego Pavia focused podcast, a few weeks back, and I think the overall sentiment is like, that's really cool. He put New Mexico State on, but actions definitely speak louder than words, and he used some words that definitely, so as far as his reputation, I don't know if it's best for him going into the NFL, what he did, Heisman night. However, looking back, what he did for New Mexico State, I mean, put us on. It was pretty cool.
Can't
So
deny it. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely can't deny it. Hey, hopefully he gets drafted. We've kind of followed Diego Pavia. Our college football guy Tim Foley, he's from UNM. He played football out there for a couple years. So we've kind of been a big UNM focused show throughout the week. So every Tuesday he'll come on and kind of give us the rundown. Then we have a beat writer for UNM. So I guess you could say we're a big UNM show, if you would say. So I guess maybe we have a little bit of rivalry kind of setting itself up just a little bit without us even knowing. So come
Yeah.
football season, we might be able to do a little duo. That would be fun. But
Let's do it.
yeah, man. So how's the pod? All Sports Best. Kind of what's it looking like this off season? What you're primarily focused on high school sports?
It's kind of a mixture of everything. Our sponsors like the, high school spotlight stuff, coaches, players, etc. But they're also into like all New Mexico. So I do want to reach out to some UNM. I mean, I went to New Mexico State, played there, love it. That's my squad. I root for them in the rivalry, but I like New Mexico excellence, period. So, if the Lobos are doing good, I'm cool with it as long as they don't, beat New Mexico State, which we got one this year in Cruces.
Yeah.
So, one of the ones that's coming up really soon, I think today or tomorrow's dropping, is his name's Andy Lyon. He played at New Mexico State with me. He's now a strength and conditioning coach with the San Francisco Giants. So he's got a really cool story and good tips for young athletes that, want to develop in their sport and they're not, always exactly sure what to do. You get it from a pro level.
Sweet, man. And when should we expect that?
I'm gonna say today.
Not to put any
this
pressure
evening.
on you.
So
Today. Okay.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah, so maybe by
Sweet, man.
tomorrow for sure check it out.
JB, you got anything?
No, man. Appreciate you showing up and talking, giving us some insight of what you do. And I'm sure people who watch us are probably gonna, if this is their first time hearing of you, it's gonna be good for you guys as well. So it's all around win-win situation. So it's good to have you on.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah, Trey. Where can we find you? Where can we find all your stuff?
All Sports Best on YouTube, Facebook. Right now, two of our biggest platforms, TikTok, Instagram, all the above. Yeah, we do shorts, we do little things, uniform reviews, clips, all of that stuff. So yeah, definitely on social media. All Sports Best across the board.
The host of All Sports Best, the GOAT of Carlsbad. I'm titling you that. The GOAT of Carlsbad. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Gonzalez. Trey, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
JB, not too shabby. All Sports Best, man. Getting the best of the best there in college, in high school sports, especially. That's the world that we want to dig in. Let's see how that works for us going on in the future. JB, any closing statements for you from the Super Bowl? Anything you want to end the show with there?
We kind of knew what was going to happen. The better team won. You line up your best. New England, Seattle's going to line up their best. Good weather conditions. We saw how that played out, and it played out pretty accurately how we kind of called it. Seattle took control of the game real early, and that was it. I mean, that's the season right there. Sam Darnold, biggest mistake that we let go of Sam Darnold in that Minnesota Vikings locker room. So that's what sucks, but good for him. Got a Super Bowl, something we can't Something I can't say our team's ever done.
Dude.
So,
Oh,
man,
it's so tough.
yeah. But other than that, good season overall. You know, it can always get better, and it will be better. So overall, everything turned out good. I think our show, all that stuff, from the week one to this point, we've had a long.
What a
It's been a
season.
long year, but it's been fun. So I can't take
What a
away from any
season,
of it.
JB. To think that we started this in a swimming pool, drinking a couple of Miller Lights, just having a good time, babbling our mouths off, just swimming around in the pool, and then saying, "Yo, let's start this show." I know at one point this year we kind of looked back at our first show, our first video when we were telling people, "Yo, I hope you guys come on and enjoy sports with us." And then we had a time where we stopped doing the show. We stopped doing it for about 2 years. I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Alcohol probably played a part in that because at the beginning of all this, we did used to do a pregame show on Sundays where we would drink at 8:30 in the morning, which that was kind of hard to keep up with. But slowly now we started the morning show. We came back this year, and man, bro, it's been fun. It's been fun to hang out with you and talk sports every morning. It's been a joy, man. I appreciate you waking up with me. I know it is tough getting up at 5:30 in the morning, prepping or finishing your prep, and then jumping on at 6:30 to get the show going. I don't know if we became morning persons. It's still tough every so often to get up that early every day.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it on Friday and Saturday, but damn, I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Those folks on X always grinding with us, Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate y'all. And bro, what a season. We are going on a bit of a hiatus. We're going to take a break for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll be back for March Madness. And we'll jump into the weeds of the college football world. Tim Foley, I'll still be doing shows with him, pre-recording. We'll be dropping to get the latest on the UNM Lobos, along with Sean Ryder. So that'll be fun. That'll be something to look forward to on the channel. But man, what a season, JB. If there's one takeaway that you can take, what would be your most memorable moment of the season this past year?
Oh man, I think
I kind of just slapped that one on you, but I feel
some
like that's what we
memorable.
got to end with.
Yeah. I think man, kind of my criticism of what I would say about the quarterbacks. My criticism on Caleb Williams, my criticism on Bo Nix, and how it kind of blew up more than we expected it. So I just took it and rode with it.
That was fun.
Things like that, man. That was fun. Obviously,
All time clip. One of the all time clips right there. Your battle with the Denver Broncos fans and the Bo Nix criticism. God, what a fun ride that was for about two to
yeah,
3 weeks, just going back and forth.
yeah,
And ultimately, I don't know that either of you guys won because it ended up in an injury. But
yeah.
damn, that
To
was
be
fun. That was
determined.
a good time.
To be
Yeah,
determined.
TBD. Mine was my. I don't know if this is a high or a low. My high, I guess I had a high and a low. You could put this one wherever you want to put it, but the uh, the generational run, the those couple weeks of hyping myself up, thinking that the Cowboys were actually going to go on a run there.
Just
That
for
delusion
JJ to
really
end
kicked
it.
in.
Just
Yeah.
for 9 to end it.
Oh, isn't that crazy? Isn't that just great? That's a beautiful setting for the show. Is the fact that the one guy that I was trashing on that entire week, and then to end the show on Thursday, you're like, it's gonna be hilarious when JJ puts up 300 plus on you guys, and then that's exactly what he did. So I don't know if that's a high or a low, but those couple of weeks throughout the year, that was fun. The generational run, as I said, and then the college football world, man, watching Fernando Mendoza against Penn State on that final drive, that was when I got introduced to what was the commentator's name that I told you? Was it Gus or something like that?
Yeah, Gus Johnson.
Um, Gus Johnson. Yeah, I kind of got introduced to him. I had heard his voice before, but I never put a name or face to the actual voice. So that was the first time I got to know him, man. That was a fun watch in the college football world. And then obviously us interviewing Jackson Eck, the linebacker on Mountain West first team defensive player of the year. Like interviewing him with Tim Foley, that was fun, man. I appreciate Jackson Eck for his time, and we broke some news on the show we were on the news. Logan Raider shouting us out on his morning show. What is it? All living. Dang, sorry, Logan. I should know this already. Living New Mexico, I believe it is.
Living
But
in
man,
New
shout out to
Mexico,
him
yeah.
for shooting us a little plug there. Breaking news that Jackson Eck was going to be returning to the UNM Lobos. So that was, damn, what a run. What a run. But we're not done, JB. We're just taking a bit of a hiatus, regrouping, regathering ourselves, refocusing to lock in on the offseason.
Going
That is
on
going to
a
be extremely
high,
long.
we're going on a ayahuasca trip with Aaron
The
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers treatment. We need it. We need to cleanse ourselves, cleanse our souls, as you should all. But I appreciate you guys rocking with us, man. If you're mad about the Super Bowl, figure it out. Figure it out. If you're mad about the Super Bowl, figure it out. If you're mad about the halftime show, figure it out. There's too many things to be upset about. We got to find joy in everything that we do, ladies and gentlemen. If you have hate in your heart, how can you live? You got to live with love, Borba. And you, my partner, my friend, I love you. Jay, I love you. Hell of a year, boys. That was so fun. Shout out to the Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. This is Speaking Out Loud. Don't forget, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See ya.
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral? Let's go viral then.